You know what I think is written in patient charts most often when it comes to stomach problems, irritable bowel, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, is etiology unknown. Yep, you have it. We have no idea why. Let me help your gastroenterologist and you today by opening up defining some of the causes of gut disease your doctor may not know. Chris Chase is going to join us today. His company is HealthQuest Technology, and he makes the Pioneer unit. Put it in your bedroom. We spend a third of our life there. Clean the air in your bedroom. You'll love that. Pharmacist Susie Cohen is going to drop in. Marty Whittakin, certified clinical nutritionist, is going to talk about how osteoporosis has precursors, a precursor, and it's called osteopenia. All that and more on this Know the Cause. Today's Know the Cause is brought to you by Pioneer, better air for your home. My name is Doug Kaufman. For the past 40 years, I've dedicated my life and even my career to finding the root cause of disease. Join me in a team of physicians, pharmacists, and scientists, and soon you too will know the cause. Hey folks, I've worked in various medical clinics, ear, nose, and throat, dermatology, etc. And it's fascinating when you put people on my diet. My diet is called the Kaufman One Diet. It's free on my website. As you follow it for a couple of months, you'll realize my symptoms are going away. They're disappearing. I think many symptoms are due to mold inside your body. And you breathe it inside your home, you drink it when you drink alcohol, corn is often impregnated with it, as is wheat, as are peanuts, antibiotics are mold, so we get this stuff in our body. I got a call about 2 years ago from a friend of mine out of Case Western. His name is Dr. Ghanum. He's written hundreds of papers about mold inducing tummy problems. When I worked in these various clinics, you know, they weren't stomach clinics, they were skin or they were ear, nose, and throat. You put people on my diet, many of them would come up to me in a short period of time and say, hey Doug, I've been on this diet for 2 weeks. I don't have diarrhea anymore, is there a link? Or guess what, I had crippling stomach pains and it's gone. How a gastroenterologist couldn't figure out that what you eat affects this is so far beyond me in the 47 years I've been in this field. But let's study a little bit. Irritable bowel disease, IBD, okay? And there's two types of them. Here we go. Irritable bowel diseases, there are two known. One is ulcerative colitis, and the other is Crohn's disease. So, folks, if you could fix one, could you not fix the other? So my friend Dr. Ghanum calls and he said, Doug, you're not going to believe this, but there is a fungal component that's been completely overlooked. First time this research has ever been done, 2016 in his laboratory. Every doctor gives you an antibiotic when you have a tummy problem. Antibiotics are probably the wrong medications. He found yeast and fungus growing in the gut of irritable bowel patients. Put them on an antifungal, ta-da. Okay, so let's talk about ulcerative colitis. Ulcer, a sore on the skin or a mucous membrane. Col, the part of the large intestine from the cecum to the rectum, and then itis means swelling. So ulcerative colitis is a sore on or in the colon that is inflamed. And by the by, that's ulcerative colitis. Crohn's disease, same symptoms, just growing in a different place. Do you love the way modern medicine has dissected us? Crohn's was a guy. He got his name on a disease. What do doctors not learn in medical school? Let's do this again. They get that much education about antibiotics because there's hundreds of them in the pharmacy. They get that much information about virology because there's 80 or 100 antivirals. That much information in mycology, the study of fungus. Oh, vaginal yeast, ringworm, toenail fungus, but what if cancer? What if Crohn's disease was due to a fungus? Okay, let's keep going. Symptoms of ulcerative colitis: diarrhea, rectal bleeding, abdominal pain, constipation, loss of appetite. I saw so many people with this. Fever, weight loss, anemia, complications outside the GI tract or digestive tract, joint pain, eye problems, skin rashes, liver. And folks, it's mirrored for many gut diseases. Here's the amazing thing. There's probably over 100. Well, let's keep going. Look at the next slide. Experts aren't sure what causes ulcerative colitis. Then are they experts? They think it might be caused by the immune system overacting to normal bacteria. Oh, yada, yada. Other kinds of bacteria and viruses may cause the disease. I put that in there for a reason. That much information about bacteria, that much about virus. They don't mention the F word, fungus. Could fungus cause it? That's what Dr. Ghanum and many others now have published about this. What causes, okay, so finally here in 2010 in Toxicon, a medical journal, some food-associated mycotoxins, they're saying fungus as potential risk factors in gut diseases. But here's the graphic I really like. What causes Crohn's disease? An immunologic link between a yeast, which is a single-celled fungus, Candida albicans, and Crohn's disease. Critical reviews in microbiology just a couple of years ago. It's, if you suffer from a stomach problem and you're running from doctor to doctor and the D word has never been mentioned, diet, do yourself a huge favor. Start some anti-oxidative vitamins, vitamin C and so forth, and go on my diet for 1 month, free to you. Just go to my website, Know the Cause. Right there, you're going to see all this diet information with recipes. My gift to you, because in a month, you're going to be smiling ear to ear. Okay? Glad you know this now. So many of you know I do a live Facebook show each Tuesday and Thursday, right? People can type in their questions to me and I try and address them. A question I had the other evening was, Doug, you're right, we live in a moldy home. We had no idea. That's probably why we're sick. But we don't have the $70,000, $80,000 to remediate the home. What do we do in the interim? I got to tell you, folks, you got to remediate the air, especially in your bedroom where you spend a third of your life. These little portable units, they plug in, they're portable, they're light, they don't make any noise, they don't have a fan, etc. I have 3 of them in my home. They're called Pioneer, represented by Chris Chase, who is the president of HealthQuest Technology. Good to see you again, Chris. Good to see you. Here I have an old unit we've had running in the studio here for, a year and a half. And thank you for bringing in this new unit, because until you showed my producer and I this morning, we really didn't totally get it after years of knowing you. But walk people through, and it's all explained in your booklet that will come with the unit, but walk people through the difference in these 2 units.
Okay, well, let me say this. Before I got involved with this, the developer was making a lot of claims about what this product, the potential. One of the claims was that it would get rid of mold and microbial and that sort of thing. So I hired the best doctor that I could find to do some testing, but I wanted it done not in a lab, but in a living environment.
In a real home.
So that I could talk to potential customers about what they could expect in their home, not in a petri dish.
Yep.
Anyway, the technology is a light-driven technology. What's good about that? Well, for one thing, you don't need a fan. Doesn't make any noise. It's quiet as a light bulb.
There's
no filters in there. What we do is we shine a UV light at a specific point on a light spectrum on a titanium dioxide target.
Can I show them?
Sure.
Okay, so here's our old unit, and this is this white is the titanium dioxide background. Now tell people what that light bulb is in there.
Well, that's your UV lamp. It's handmade for our technology, and every one of them are tested to make sure that it's zeroed in at the point that it needs to be on the light spectrum.
Chris, half of that is fuzzy, glazed.
That, Doug, is why you need to change your lamp about once a year. A lot of people get confused. They say, well, my lamp is still burning. Mm-hmm. The problem is not that the lamp is still burning. It is that the coating here on the lamp is precluding the UV light to hit the target where it needs to.
Well, how am I going to know that at home if I buy this unit?
We have computers, and we call you or send you a postcard to let you know that it's, we do it about 11 months so that you got a little time to arrange to.
You replace just that. The box stays the same.
Absolutely. Okay. And we've got these boxes. We formed the company 19 years ago and started selling this product, and we still have some of the original units out in the field. So it's the technology and the way that it's put together is
Chris, ours in our home, we have 3 of them. We have 2 cats. We should have 3 of them, you know. but there's always a smell in the cat boxes and so forth. Not with this. The house smells wonderful. I mean, the thing I love about this is there's a little beacon of light, a little blue light that comes through here letting you know it's on and so forth. But it's quiet. I don't have to put it in the dishwasher and clean a filter. This has paid, I've had ours maybe 10 years, same box.
One of the things that's neat about this technology is it handles all 3 major categories of pollutants. What are they? Particulate. Particulate is things like pollen, mold, germs,
Bacteria, yep.
smoke, anything like that, dust, the pet dander. It gets rid of particulate. It actually makes it drop out of your breathing space. Second thing is microbial, and again, that would be your viruses, your bacteria, your fungus, and then the third thing is chemicals or odors. And what that is it's a molecule, and depending on the elements that are in the molecule, that changes what your body smells. What we do is we actually break that molecule chain down to the base elements, so we're not masking the odor, we're eliminating it.
Very thorough. And folks, it's not just the lungs that benefit when you use a machine like this. We're going to show you some data that'll really have you thinking deeply about one of these or 2 of these in your home. Let's go over and give some more information.
Okay.
I'm just so excited to bring many new eyes onto this technology. Folks, a house off-gases. You put rugs and curtains and pets and so forth, and you're going to end up with particulate matter or chemicals in the home. This is a technology that you plug in. Shh, quiet. In a year, you get a call. Hey, replace the lamp module. I personally have been replacing those lamp modules for 10 years, and we love it. The house always smells like you just wash your sheets outside. Did Grandma ever hang them out outside? Okay, that's what it smells like in our house all the time. Chris, I left that segment with you and I standing there talking about how we tend to think it's just the lungs. Well, I breathe in mold, it affects my lungs, but look at this. Air pollution symptoms of depression in elderly adults. This was done in Korea, and they had a lot of participants, indicated an increase in levels of, and you've explained particulate matter as animal dander, bacteria, mold, etc. Nitric oxide ozone levels were, and I quote this, significantly associated with depressive symptoms. So the mold that we inhale doesn't stay here in the lungs. Isn't that fascinating?
Yes, it is. I'll tell you something else. That there was a Russian study done that showed that a high amount of positively charged ions in your breathing space contributed to higher levels of depression, cabin fever, that kind of thing. One of the things that our technology does is we generate a lot of negative ions, and that has a soothing effect on depression as well as being a key to making our technology work.
In my younger days, I used to surf out in California, body surf out in the ocean. And there was something, Chris, about, like you and sailing, you know, we both had this affinity to water. There was something about sitting on that beach with those waves, and later, decades later, I learned they generate negative ions. So your machine does that same thing. So you're not hearing this sucking noise, you know, bringing stuff in your home in a big bedroom, you know, to the machine. It just emits these negative ions, right?
Right, and what we're doing is we're taking advantage of what's going on naturally in your home with the pollutants and that sort of thing. All of those pollutants, any one of the 3 categories, has a positive charge to it. When we develop or create our technology, it is all negatively charged. So we're letting what naturally occurs in your home pull the technology out of the unit and treat the air in the area that you're trying to treat, and not try to draw air in from the far corner over there where you got mold growing, and try to get it to come into the box. It's almost impossible to do, and if you could do it, you'd have to have a fan this big around to be able to move that much air.
You know what? Here's a graphic that Chris brought in. 15 of the most polluted cities in America, and I had no idea. Look at all of them on the West Coast there. Alaska kind of blew my mind. I would thought the East Coast, would have a lot of pollution, but apparently not.
Well, it's not that it doesn't have a lot of pollution. It's just that these areas are on the cardiac, but the Midwest and the Northeast and the Southeast and Southwest has a lot of particulate and fungal pollution. And they were measuring, I'm pretty sure they were measuring on this things like industrial pollution, gas,
then that makes total sense. That makes total sense. I want to show you folks a couple of pictures because this is what we see in our homes. I hope you don't see something this severe, but here's kind of this is going to be a major problem if he doesn't get that fixed. Does your home look like that? Chris, how do they get, the unit comes, that lamp module, the box is the same, but it goes from a 350 square foot, a tiny home, to a 750 square foot, to a 1,500 square foot lamp module. Tell people how to get it.
Well, I mean, we adjust the size area that is the active part of the technology to control the amount of area that we're treating. So the 350 lamp treats 350 square feet or up to 350 square feet, and the amount of technology that's hit on the target is reduced from the 1,500.
Yeah, and you get your choice, folks. You can buy the tiny one. Call the office. The telephone number is there. Call their office and say, which size do I need? Always good to see you. Thank you again for this technology and the great smell in my home, the great air. See you later, Chris. I'll be right back with more.
Can that cinnamon bun make your head hurt? I'm so hungry. Who knows? But I am so happy to test the theory out with you. I am serious when I warn you that grain-containing muffins, breads, pasta, cereal, they're all migraine aids. I'm saying that these foods can trigger a migraine. Gluten is another migraine aid. Researchers at Columbia University have found a strong correlation between migraines and digestive problems. So if you have migraines, step away from the bread and see how much better you do.
Marty Whittakin, certified clinical nutritionist, author of a lot of books, radio show, talk show hostess every Saturday morning. Love this. healthybynatureshow.com. Thank you for coming in. You just educated me before we were ready to go on the air. And I said, is osteoporosis just an elderly female problem? You said, no, men have osteoporosis too. I'm hard pressed to remember a male in my family who has fallen down and broken his hip when he's 80 years old, but you're saying that's not uncommon.
It's not uncommon. First of all, they have to survive heart disease and wars and so on to be old enough to have osteoporosis, but it does happen because the same kinds of things go on that cause osteoporosis.
And what is osteopenia?
It's just on the road. It's like prediabetes is to diabetes. It's just on the road. It says the bone is not repairing like it's supposed to. We're supposed to remodel the bone all the time, tear it down and rebuild it. Unfortunately, to prevent osteoporosis, they give drugs that stop that process, and they give us hard, brittle bones, where what we want to do is restore the balance so that we're getting new bone all the time.
I can't remember the name of the drug, but I think Sally Fields promoted it. Here's a drug that's supposed to help you prevent osteoporosis, and the jaw is cracking and the bones are becoming fragile. The very thing it's meant to prevent, it induces. That just always blew me away. Drug companies are genius at all of this. What supplements can help the people watching right now prevent the onset of bones becoming brittle and breaking? What diet, what supplements?
I think if we ask a survey, the number one answer, if this was Family Feud, would be calcium. But really, if you had to pick one, it would be vitamin D, much more important. There's enough calcium in the diet. In the United States, we consume more calcium than anywhere on the planet. We have more osteoporosis, so we apparently don't have the whole thing figured out. Besides calcium, we need magnesium just as much. We need boron and manganese and zinc and the rest of the minerals, and especially the vitamin D and vitamin K, because we want the calcium to go into the bone and not into the arteries.
Boron, things of that. At some time, maybe 40, 50 years ago, the industry, the supplement industry, forgot that our foods contain those. And so mom used to throw down calcium pills all day, all day, all day. And most women did because their doctors told them. Somebody figured out the bone's made of calcium. And when your bones become fragile, you just need more calcium. It's not the way the human body works. It's really our food that should provide us. But green leafy vegetables is something that's long gone. And then there's GMOs and there's all sorts of pesticides and so forth that we have to worry about.
Almonds, broccoli, a lot of things have calcium in it. You have to work a little harder to get magnesium, and that's why we're too low on that. The primary cause for osteoporosis is lack of estrogen. And so, as we've talked before, keeping the estrogen balance is important, but that gets back to keeping the adrenals healthy. You've got to do weight-bearing exercise. Calcium, it's a crutch, and a lot of what people take is really like ground up rocks. I'm not a big fan.
Marty, author of many books, talk show hostess. Your show is called Healthy by Nature. The URL is healthybynatureshow.com. Thank you. Bless your heart for sharing this information with us.
Always very happy to come and see you.
Really appreciate you. Thank you. Hey, thank you for joining us today, folks. We really enjoy having you here. We're a small team of people who love filming and producing and bringing these shows to you. Crammed into this head is 47 years of knowledge that I try and dispense to you on this show, and then I do Facebook Live, knowthecause.com/Facebook, and you can join me every Tuesday and Thursday from 3 to 4 p.m. Maybe you have a question for me. Type it in, and I'll address it live on the show, 3 to 4 p.m. Central Time, Tuesday and Thursday. Now, what did you think about stomach problems linked to fungus? I wish your doctor knew this, and it's pretty well documented now, but doctors are busy and often don't stay up with current events in their field of interest. I want to read you. You saw Chris Chase's 15 most polluted cities. This comes from cheatsheet.com. Anchorage, Alaska. I can't believe these. Sacramento, California. Missoula, Montana. Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Looks like the only one over there on the right. El Centro, California. Reno, Nevada. LA. Logan, Utah. Salt Lake City, Utah. San Francisco, California. Fairbank. Alaska. I've been there. It's beautiful. Modesto, California. Visalia, California. Fresno, California. And Bakersfield, California. A lot of pollution out there, and of course the wind can change that at any given moment. Thank you, Marty, for coming in. Thank you, Susie, for continuing our education here. What we try and do, the producers and I, is cram a whole lot of information into 28 minutes and 30 seconds so you can watch the show. You can watch it again on our website. Every show, and we do 2 a day, every show is on our website, knowthecause.com. Want more diet information, recipes? knowthecause.com. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for telling your friends. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.